Hello everyone, Tim Vine here and welcome back, unlikely, to Board of Numbers, episode 3. Yes, 21 episodes where I talk about every single number on the dartboard, and today I will be talking about the number 3. I've seen one or two people react in comments in various places saying, shouldn't it be 22 episodes because aren't you going to talk about the outer bull? You're just going to talk about the bull. But when I say bull, episode 21 is bull, I am referring to bull and outer bull. After all, bull 50 is the double of outer bull 25. So I consider them to be one entity. So I think 21 episodes is the best. Anyway, look, today we're talking about 3. And 3 is a nice single number to throw for, I always think, because it's upright. Unlike 2, which we talked about yesterday, which is at a wonky angle, 3 is lovely and straight. And as long as you can get your arm through in a nice straight line and hold your line, make sure your forearm goes forward just straight in front of you, then you should hit the thing. That's the plan, certainly, that you should hit the 3. The other thing that's nice about it is the 3 is surrounded by other odds, isn't it? It's surrounded by the 7, the 19 are on its left, then you've got the 3 itself, and then the 17. So that's 4 numbers, and you'll notice that in a game of pub darts, when someone of perhaps a slightly lower standard, or even someone of a slightly higher pub standard, I consider myself to be pub standard, but maybe reasonable pub standard. I would say when you're on a number like 47, for example. Actually, that's a bad example. When you're on a number like 41. Now, personally, I wouldn't throw 7, 19, 3 or a 17 in that situation. But if I had a player who I felt was a little bit more scattergun with the way they threw, I'd say aim for that segment. You're on 41, you throw in that whole segment, there's 4 numbers together, 7, 19, 3 or a 17. You hit one of them, you're on a double. Fair enough, if you hit 3, you're on double 19, and no one likes that. But listen, a double is a double is a double. So it's good to have it. And the 3 is good for a few sort of obvious outshots that the pros would do. 43, for example, 3 double top. It's very straightforward, isn't it, really? 35, very often used in that situation. I can't think of any other situation where people would use another number, really, for 35. The pros will always go 35, 3 double 16. And the same with 11, really, they will always go 3 double 4. I'm keeping a close eye on what I'm saying here, because in the past, in both episodes I've done so far, I've made mistakes on the numbers, but I don't think I have so far. And of course, on the number 5, you would normally go 1 double 2. Once in a blue moon, someone might go 3 double 1. I've done it myself sometimes, normally just to show off or something. And it's nice to go for in games. The number 3 is nice to go for in other games, I should say, like Killer or Harvit and Cricket. And I haven't really got time to explain the rules of all those at the moment. But Killer, let's just say that your opponents, everyone's on a different number, and so you're going to try and kill off your opponent by hitting their number. So if your opponent is on a 3, I always think, treble 3, that's a situation where you would go for it deliberately in Killer and indeed Harvit and Cricket, and look up how to play those games if you're interested. But of course, in the 501 games, the treble 3 is never deliberately thrown for. And we talked about this, didn't we, in an earlier episode? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, all those trebles are never deliberately thrown for in a game of 501. 7, we talked about this, and I don't want to repeat myself. 7 sometimes is. I saw James Wade go treble 7 double top. But treble 3 is often it's often hit in games of 501, though, even by the pros, because of the cover shot for the 19s, which increasingly pros go for a lot now, and so some will stray into the neighbouring triple 3, the old 9 points there. And now let's talk about the double. Well, the double is very low, the lowest double on the board. That's why I think generally people don't like double 3. The pros don't like it. It leaves you nowhere. If you hit 3, you're on 1 double 1. That's horrible. So tall people don't like it. I don't think anyone really likes it. I suppose, I don't know whether Jockey Wilson enjoyed it. Jockey Wilson, of course, was 5'3", which coincidentally is the same as the Queen. And I know the Queen didn't like double 3. But 5'3", maybe it's looking right in front of you for Jockey. I don't know, but I would suggest Jockey didn't like it either, because, as I say, why would you set yourself up for a double that if you hit the single of it, you end up on something as icky as 3, 1 double 1. Another thing you can do, and I used to do it quite regularly. I don't do it quite so much now because my knees aren't really up to it in the same way as they used to be. But on double three, I would sometimes then get down on my knees and throw off my knees. The argument for doing that is it's sort of a trick shot, looks a bit flash. And the other thing is that I have always thought to myself, well, if I'm on my knees going for double three, that ought to be similar, really, for standing up and going for double 20. I haven't actually measured that, but it's probably slightly similar. And I remember one of the times I did that. My very dear friend and fellow comedian Ricky Grover and I, when we first were getting to know each other, which back in the early 90s, we were doing a little tour of about 3 or 4 gigs in universities, and we were in Liverpool, and we stopped for a game of darts. Now, as an odd couple, myself and Ricky is slightly unusual. Ricky's from Canning Town, and I'm hello. Posh Nuts, as he calls me. Hello, I'm Tim from Cheam. So we're an unlikely pairing. Anyway, we're in this pub in Liverpool, and we're playing darts, and it gets to double three. I'm on double three, and I'm all joie de vivre. I get straight down on my knees, about to throw for double three, and Ricky just sidles up to me and says, no, don't do that. No. So I got back up again. So it's, double three, it's not something you do generally as during normal games, shall we say. It's a fun thing to do, but it can be deemed disrespectful. I think it's probably fair to say if you start. It's a bit like the when people start going double. You don't, that's more and more acceptable now in proper games. That when in the 80s, Bristow and Lowe and Jockey Wilson and the like, the idea of being on 80 and going for double top twice, or 72 and going for double 18 twice, or 76 and going double 18 and double top would be seen as what the heck are you doing? You save that for exhibitions. But now more and more people are doing that, and I've done the odd double when I'm enjoying myself in a pub. Now I've got a couple of shots. The first one, which does involve the three, but I'll mention the second one as well. But these are what I call visually pleasing shots. The first one I've named the vertical propeller, and that's a finish of 96. And you go double top, bull, double three, and you'll see that on the dartboard, that's a lovely straight line. Those are very, very far apart. So that's my porridge repeating on me. They're very far apart, lovely straight line, like a vertical propeller. And you can go in any order you want. You might want to go, one of the nice ways to go double top, double three, bull. I mean, that looks great. The scorer doesn't know where you're going when you're doing that. The other way, of course, the other visually pleasing one is the horizontal propeller, double 11, double 6 bull. I only mention that because it's also one of the propeller shots that I've invented, but it doesn't involve the threes. I shouldn't really mention it, but that would be 84, of course. Double 11, double 6, bull. Anyway, there we are. 3, a very functional and very useful number, and I always think to myself, if I've got to hit it and it's a single, I like it. If I've got to hit it, it's in a double, I don't like it at all. That's Board of Numbers. We've got as far as 3, and today's episode has ended.